This is video number 3 in the social interactions in GURPS series. Last time I talked about the influence skills, but today let's talk about various advantages and disadvantages that affect social skills and other social aspects of your character. However, I will not talk about such things as appearance, rank, status and wealth, because they deserve their own videos. The first social advantage is allies. This is a very flexible advantage that gives you a loyal ally. You can adjust the frequency of appearance or availability, the power level, and the loyalty of the ally. If you apply summonable or conjured, this becomes a supernatural advantage. An ally can also be a dependent. This is a powerful advantage that can get out of hand in some situations. In any case, remember that the ally is an NPC. The ally is created and controlled by the GM, not by the player. The next advantage is alternate identity. This is a mundane advantage that can represent an alternate legal or illegal identity. I think it is mostly appropriate for high-tech games where documents, passports and credit cards are more relevant, but I still can see it being used in a D&D-like game. I think it would be great to introduce a supernatural variant of this advantage for the purpose of spells and abilities that divine information about you. Animal empathy allows you to use influence skills on animals. Without it, you have to use animal handling. Blessed and very blessed give you a reaction bonus from followers of your deity. Chameleon with always on is irritating. Strangers react at -1. Charisma is a very important advantage for social characters. It gives a bonus on all reaction rolls made by sapient beings with whom you actively interact, a bonus to influence rolls, and a bonus to fortune-telling, leadership, pen handling and public speaking skills. The GM may rule that it doesn't affect extremely alien species. As I mentioned in the previous video, GURPS Power-Ups 9 alternate attributes has guidelines for transforming charisma into a separate attribute that affects social interactions. I do not think it's a bad idea, but be very careful. Claim to hospitality makes you belong to a social group that encourages its members to assist one another. You can always rely on them to provide food, shelter or basic aid. The point cost depends on the extent and wealth of the group. This advantage comes with a downside. You have to assist others with the same claim to hospitality. Clerical investment makes you an ordained priest of a recognized religion. Co-religionists react at you at +1. This is a social trait that allows you to perform certain services and lets you enjoy certain privileges, but does not grant you any divine powers. It also gives you a religious rank 0 for free, but I will talk about that again in the video about rank. In the context of D&D style games, most clerics should have this advantage. Clerical investment might also be appropriate for some shamans, but on the other hand, it might be inappropriate to other divine spellcasters, such as favored souls, who may not have ties to an organized religion. Contacts and contact groups are two very flexible advantages that can provide you with information or small favors. You can adjust the skill level, skill breadth, reliability and availability. In the context of D&D style games, this is also very flexible. A rogue character might have an underworld contact or a fence. A cleric might have his church as a contact group. A wizard might have his former mentor as a contact or his mage guild as a contact group. A druid can have his druidic circle as a contact group. This is also an excellent reward to give players for their in-game accomplishments. If you are not satisfied with what GURPS basic set gives you here, consider buying GURPS Social Engineering Keeping in Contact. It is an entire book devoted to this advantage and it's pretty good. Cultural adaptability is a cinematic advantage that lets you ignore cultural familiarity penalties. I will talk about culture in the next video in the series. Empathy and sensitive, its lesser variant, are very good advantages for social characters, as they improve some of your social skills and make it easier to choose an appropriate way to approach the interaction. Favor is a single-use ally, contact group or patron. Again, a very nice in-game reward for the player characters. Illuminated is a very specific advantage that lets you sense other illuminated beings and conspiracies. Such beings react at you at +3. It is possible to adapt this advantage to not be about the actual Illuminati. I have done that in a sci-fi game, but not in a fantasy game. Indomitable makes you immune to most influence rolls. You still can be influenced by a character with an appropriate empathy advantage. Often accompanies unfazable. Legal enforcement powers for police is what clerical investment is for church. You get privileges such as right to conceal carry, license to kill, and so on, and a free police rank 0. In the context of D&D style games, this could mean a license to wield a weapon that is forbidden for the commoners, a license to use mind reading and mind control magic for the purpose of law enforcement, when its use is illegal to everyone else, and similar benefits. Legal immunity is another advantage that can create interesting situations that rarely are explored in D&D style games. It is appropriate for priests in certain nations, diplomats, ambassadors, and bards. Patron is another very flexible advantage that is social by default but can also be made supernatural. For example, GURPS Power's Divine Favor is based around this advantage. A patron is an NPC or an organization that serves as an advisor, employer, mentor, or protector. You can adjust the patron's power, frequency of appearance, and apply various modifiers. A patron can provide you with gear and information, bail you out of jail, give you a job, or help you in many other ways. However, having a patron often means that you have such disadvantages as duty, a code of conduct, or even enemies. Plant empathy lets you use influence skills on sentient plants. Security clearance is exactly what its name entails. It gives you a security clearance to information that would otherwise be off limits to someone of your rank or status. Social chameleon is a cinematic advantage that makes you exempt from reaction penalties due to differences in rank or status. Social regard gives you a reaction bonus in your society. You can be feared, respected, or venerated, with slightly different effects. This advantage can add a lot of flavor to your game world if utilized properly, of course. Spirit empathy lets you use influence skills on spirits that otherwise are immune to them. Many talents give you bonuses to social skills, and almost all of them provide a reaction bonus when interacting with a specific class of people. If you'd like to know more about talents, or if you do not like reaction bonuses and want alternative benefits, check out GURPS Power-Ups 3 Talents. Tenure gives you a job from which you cannot normally be fired. Nice! Unfazable makes you immune to intimidation. Voice is a trait that improves your diplomacy, fast talk, mimicry, performance, politics, public speaking, sex appeal, and singing, and also gives you a reaction bonus from those who can hear you. Zeroed makes it so you do not officially exist. In a fantasy setting, you are a mysterious wanderer. Supernatural divination cannot discover any details about your past or true identity. That's all the advantages related to social interactions. If you come from a D&D background, it might be difficult to adapt to having social traits like these be abilities that you can and have to buy. Sure, even in D&D 3.5 you could get the leadership feat and probably get punched by the DM, or play the noble class from Dragonlance's campaign setting to exploit favors, but even with all the feat support in mind, it pales in comparison to what GURPS offers here. These advantages, in my opinion, are even more important for the social aspects of the game, because they make you roleplay your character in a certain way. Many disadvantages provide situational reaction penalties, but some actually provide bonuses. I will not go over every single disadvantage, that would be too long and more or less pointless. Just open the book and read them, but I'll point out some of them. For example, Bully gives you a -2 penalty on all reaction rolls, nobody likes a bully. Chummy and Gregarious make you react at a bonus to others, most of the time, and make you miserable alone. Clueless makes others react at you at -2, but also makes you resistant to sex appeal. Cowardice might make soldiers react to you negatively. Delusions, when uncovered, make people react negatively to you. And the list goes on and on. I also want to point out social stigma, dependence, and duty. Not only are there explicit bonuses and penalties, but the GM should also assign situational modifiers. For example, you might get a reaction bonus by giving something delicious to a character with gluttony. But where the reaction bonuses and penalties shine, in my opinion, is the quirks and perks. They are perfect for very situational social modifiers. For example, if you do not want a harsh disadvantage, such as intolerance to women, you can take dislikes blonde women for a smaller, much more situational bonus that will give your character more character. A character with likes cats will react at +1 to other characters that like cats, characters that wear skull cats, and so on. The possibilities here are endless. I strongly suggest you to get GURPS Power-Up 6 quirks, as it has many examples of such quirks. Personally, it was difficult for me to adapt when coming to GURPS from D&D, because I was unused to having social traits at all. Now, however, I can see just how much they help to give your character more flavor and make him feel like a part of the world, not just a stat block. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.